Hello, welcome back to A Little Less Lisa. Today we are going to talk about the 10 must-have items you need when starting your GLP-1 or weight loss medication journey. If you're new here, my name is Lisa and this is my journey into a more healthier life, wellness. Right now I'm focusing on weight loss. I am in the middle of my life. I am 57 years old and have just been enjoying my own weight loss journey right now. I personally take compounded tirzepatide and have had great success on it thus far. So I thought it would be helpful to those of you who are about to embark on a journey or are thinking about it, kind of the 10 must-have items that you need when you start. So let's get into it. So the first thing you're gonna need, I don't think will be a shock to anyone, and that is you need a scale. Now, I personally would recommend a smart scale. This one is by Renpho. I will have everything linked that I can in the description box below. So if it makes it easier for you to shop for some of these things, if you don't have them, then they will be there, like I said. Why do I recommend a smart scale? First of all, because it syncs to an app on your phone. So it's super easy to keep track of your data, things like that. You don't have to remember, gosh, when I weighed in a few days ago, how much did I weigh? You can't really remember. So it tracks everything. But I think most importantly, a smart scale breaks down your weight into different metrics that make up that total number that flashes on the screen on your scale, right? And I know for some people, it can be somewhat disheartening if you step on the scale and maybe you haven't lost any weight that week, or maybe it's a lot less than what you anticipated based on all of your tracking, and you're doing all the right things, you're drinking the water, you're getting in the protein, you're eating in a calorie deficit, you're moving your body, or maybe the scale has even maybe gone up a little bit. When you're able to break down what that overall number means, it is very, very helpful. So for example, maybe you ate a really salty meal the night before you weighed. The percentage of water in your body has increased dramatically. So maybe that's what's accounting for either a gain, not losing, or the fact that you didn't lose as much as you would have hoped. Maybe it's that you gained muscle that week and you didn't lose as much fat to offset what muscle you gained. Muscle weighs more than fat, so that could be contributing to it. So my point is, I think it's really helpful to have a smart scale so that you can really dive into, like I said, what makes up your body mass, whether it be water, whether it be bone, whether it be muscle, whether it be fat. There are different kinds of fat. All of those things, I think, like I said, are really, really helpful when you're on a weight loss or health journey, so that you can focus sometimes more on some of those metrics than necessarily that big number at the top. So the next thing you're going to want to do in order to track your progress is to take body measurements. Now, this is key, especially when, again, you might be gaining muscle but losing fat, and the scale may not reflect that overall loss because, like I said, muscle weighs more than fat. But on the body, muscle takes up less room than fat. So if you are doing your measurements and you see that, you lost a total of an inch across your body during a particular week, but maybe your body weight stayed the same, that's showing you that you probably gained some muscle but lost fat, because it may be even on the scale, but the muscle is taking up less room on your body, hence the reason why your measurements are smaller. So maybe you're finding your clothes are fitting a little bit looser, things like that. I, again, have a smart tape measure. This is also by Renpho. What I bought on Amazon was like a package product. So it was both the scale that I just showed you and this smart tape measure. Again, you don't need this if you just have an old-fashioned tape measure at home that you can wrap around your body parts and write it down on a piece of paper, or put it in an Excel spreadsheet, or put it in the notes app on your phone, whatever you want to do. But you definitely want to keep track of it, because like I said, a lot of times you may not see a difference on the scale, but you will see a difference in your body measurements. So I think a tape measure is key product number 2 to have during your journey. And the last sort of gadget type, I guess, thing that I think everybody needs to have is a food scale. Mine is from Amazon. I bought it quite a few years ago, so I will link some comparable things, products down below. This particular one isn't available anymore, but you want to make sure that you are weighing your food, because I think most people are guilty of thinking that a serving size is this amount when it's really this amount. And the only way to really know that you're getting the right serving size is to be weighing your food. I just think it is critical. I think we are so, especially in the United States, used to these huge portions, especially when we go out to eat, that our mental image of what a proper serving size is really, really skewed. And I definitely see that, especially when it comes to like condiments, like salad dressings, or maybe that cheese that you put on your pizza as a topping, things like that, that you think might be one serving, but when you actually measure it out, maybe you're actually putting the equivalent of 3 servings on whatever it is you're eating. And when you get to a point where maybe you are struggling, or your weight is slowing down or stalled, you really need to go back and look at what you're eating. And if you're not tracking, and if you're not tracking the actual measurements of what you're eating, you could really be eating way more than you think you are, especially when it comes, like I said, to those like condiment type things that don't necessarily take up a whole lot of room in your stomach, so that the GLP medication, isn't really necessarily affecting how much of that you're eating. But, if you think that you're eating 100 calories in salad dressing, but you're really eating 300 calories, that could be the difference between being in a calorie deficit or not being in a calorie deficit. So I think a food scale is 100% a necessity when you're on a weight loss journey. So since I was just talking about tracking things, like tracking your food, etc., I think that there are 2 different trackers that I'm going to talk about that I think are, what are we on, number 4 and number 5 items. The first tracker that I think, again, is critical is to have some kind of food tracking app. So I personally use the one called Lose It. Again, I'll scroll a picture of it here so you can kind of see what it does. I do have the paid version because I do like to scan my, items if I'm eating a packaged food. So for example, this protein, which I'm going to show you in a second, you can take this barcode, scan it with the app, and it will populate all of the nutritional information, the calories, etc., so that you don't have to search for it or whatever. You don't have to do that. Obviously, you can search for things, or you can generally create your own custom entries for different food, things like that. But like I said, it's worth it to me for whatever it is, $50 a year or something like that, to pay for the, full version. A lot of people like MyFitnessPal. Again, I've used it in the past. I personally don't think it's great in the free version, again, because you don't have that scanning ability, if I remember correctly. And if I remember correctly, you don't get to track your macros, I think, with the free version. So again, I think you're going to be paying something to get that upgraded version. Whatever the case is, you pick the one that works best for you, but it's really important that you track your food. Now, maybe you don't want to do an app. Maybe you just want to, like I said, track it on an Excel spreadsheet or in the notes app on your phone or on a piece of paper. But again, I think it's really critical to track what you're eating. So you've weighed your food or beverage or whatever it is, and then you track it, because this whole sort of So my budget is 1,200 calories. Have I had 1,000 calories? Did I only have 800? Did I have 13? Like, it's hard to keep track if you're just like trying to do it in your head of, okay, I had 210 calories for breakfast, and okay, then I had a snack. I had a string cheese that was 80, so now I'm at 290, and now it's 7 o'clock at night and you've eaten dinner and you can't really remember what was in the food. It's super important to track. And an app makes it super easy. So I would highly recommend a food tracking app. The next form of tracker that I think is really critical is some kind of dosage and location and date tracker. I have mine in an Excel spreadsheet. If I can figure out how to link mine below or get it to you guys like via email or something, I will have that in the description box below, along, like I said, with all of these other items. But I do think it's critical because, again, your memory will fail you, especially because you're supposed to be rotating injection sites. And even I know myself, it's like, wait, did I give that last week's shot in the right thigh or the left thigh or what? And so this way you can track it. So mine tracks the date, the dosage, the location of the injection, my weight, how much I lost for the week, and then it aggregates it for the month, etc. And for those of you who are not taking a branded version of the medication, so if you aren't taking Mounjaro, Zepbound, Ozempic, or Wegovy, which are in individual pens, so you know exactly how much you're dosing. You don't really have to remember because it's in a pen. If you're doing it like me and you're doing a compounded version, you're withdrawing that medication yourself into a syringe. And again, if you're not writing it down, you may not remember. You don't have a box there to remind you, oh, last week you took a 5 milligram injection. And I have been stepping up a little more gradually because I wasn't, for example, handling 5 milligrams very well. I was really, really sick on it. So I went back down to 2.5 and then I've gone up to 3.75. So I sort of split that jump of 2.5 in half. And again, if I'm not tracking that, I may not remember, because you guys, once you get into multiple weeks on this medication, it's hard to remember, like I said, if you don't have the actual branded medication that's in a box sitting in your refrigerator and the old pen that you can look at. So I think tracking your dosage and especially the location, again, is critical. The next item that I think everybody needs is a water bottle. Now, why do I say this? Again, it comes down to a tracking issue, in my opinion. Most of us need to probably get at least 80 ounces, maybe closer to 100 ounces of water a day. And if you're just drinking it in a glass, one, you may not really know how much you're drinking. Am I drinking 8 ounces? Am I drinking 12 ounces? Am I drinking 16 ounces? I don't know. If you have a water bottle, for example, this one is 32 ounces, and I like to get around 96 ounces a day. I know that I have to drink 3 of these, and it's a lot easier to keep track of what number I'm on when it's 3 versus, let's say, 10 or 12, right? It's just, unless you're like keeping a little tally sheet each day and doing a little hash mark for each glass you drink, and like I said, unless you're measuring it, you don't know. Get yourself a water bottle. First of all, it'll keep your water cold. It's just a lot easier to track. I would say if you don't want to get an actual water bottle, I don't know why you wouldn't, or you probably have one, but then I would say go ahead and get like one of those gallon jug kind of things. I used to have one of those when we were doing 75 hard because we didn't actually have like a water dispenser in our fridge. We had this like kind of bougie double industrial type fridge, and unfortunately it didn't have a water dispenser. So I couldn't put it in a water bottle. I was having to drink. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It was just because I was drinking a gallon of water, it was just easier for me to fill that gallon every night before I went to bed, put it in the refrigerator, and then that next day, I knew that I was just, whatever vessel I was using, I was filling it out of that gallon. Everybody in the family knew not to touch the water in that jug because that was mommy's, that was mine. And then, I would just keep filling whatever vessel I was drinking out of and get to the end of the day and I would know that I got all of my water in. I apologize if you can hear sirens. I do live in New York City and I do have the window open. So my apologies. I know a lot of you, especially on my other channel, are like, oh my gosh, the sirens. I don't really hear them because I'm used to them now. But anyway, apologies for those. But yeah, just if you're not gonna, like I said, get a water bottle that you can just track and know, okay, I just need to drink 2 of these or I need to drink 3 of these, then I would, like I said, invest in a gallon sort of size jug or some very large container that you can have in your refrigerator and then just fill out of there so that you know when you get to the end of it that you're done for the day and you've had all of your water. I will have whatever I can, like I said, linked below. So in addition to getting in all of your water, most of you will probably know, if you've done any kind of research thus far, is that protein is king. It's honestly king on any weight loss journey, but it is very important when you're on a GLP-1 medication to get your protein in, because you don't want your body to use your own muscle to burn because you're in a calorie deficit. You want your body to move to your fat storage. Now, everybody's going to lose some muscle mass when you're on a weight loss journey, especially if you're losing, fairly quickly. But in order to prevent that as much as possible, you obviously want to do some strength training, which is, a whole separate video. We can talk about that. But you also want to make sure that you're getting in whatever the protein goal is that you need. Some people need 80 grams, some people need 100 grams. You don't need 150 grams. You're not a bodybuilder. You don't need that many. Again, there are calculators. I'll try to link one down below where you can calculate the number of protein grams that you need on a daily basis. But the one thing that's hard because of a GLP medication, because it slows down the emptying of your stomach so you stay fuller longer, in addition to that, it moves through your system more slowly, is you are going to have a harder time getting in all the food that you need. And protein, because it's so dense, it gets absorbed more slowly and it takes longer to digest. And so it's sort of like this double-edged sword that's working against you. So pretty much everybody needs some sort of protein supplement. There are lots out there. There are protein drinks, there are protein, powders, there are protein bars, etc. I'm going to show you a few of what I use. Again, find what works for you, but I think it's critical that you have on hand things that will work for you, that when you get to, let's say, 7 o'clock at night and you've only had 60 grams of protein and your target is 90, that you can grab a protein drink and drink that so you can get the 30 grams that you need. So every single day I drink one of these. This is by Premier Protein. I have been drinking this basically on a daily basis since 2020. This has 30 grams of protein. It is 160 calories. I drink it every day in my protein coffee, which I'm actually still finishing at the moment. If you are going to try some of the protein powders, I would highly recommend that if the company has like packets or like a sampler pack, something like that you can try before you invest in those giant tubs of protein, that you do that, because you may not like it, okay? So for example, I ordered some packets from Truvani. I have this one, chocolate peanut butter, left. I'm gonna try this in like a kind of a smoothie kind of drink with maybe like part of a banana, and to get that kind of protein shake kind of thing. I also ordered these from Devotion Protein. By the way, I am not sponsored. I have no affiliation with any of these companies, so please know that right off just the start. But this came with 6 of their flavors, 2 packets each, and so it's really been nice to kind of try the different flavors. see which ones I like probably the most, and those will be the ones that I order. I already do have a tub of their angel food cake, which can kind of go for any sort of sweet kind of thing that you want. But I think I'm also going to be ordering the, I think it's their buttery blend, savory blend. So if you want to make any kind of, like, let's say waffles or any kind of bread or pizza crust or things like that, like I said, that are savory, that is a great one to have. And then I think I'm also going to order the brownie one, because I've been making these like brownie cookies, and they're super, super tasty, especially when you want a little fix of sweet. So like I said, recommendation would be, if you can find them in individual packets or something, just find the flavors you like, find the taste that you like. You know, you may try one of these and hate the taste. And if you've bought a giant jug for $60, you just wasted $60 for nothing. And so I really think that it's helpful to get those. You know, Greek yogurt is a great option as well, pretty high in protein and pretty easy to eat, especially if you are not feeling like you can eat a whole lot. Protein bars, I'm not a huge fan of them. I think a lot of them have kind of that proteiny taste, so I generally don't do a lot of protein bars. I tend to do, like I said, protein shakes. I love the core, or I guess it's the Fairlife Core Power shakes. I didn't bring it in here for some reason, but I do the 30 gram one. It's 150 calories in the chocolate, and I drink that by itself. Like, I don't particularly love these by themselves. I wouldn't just drink this, but I love it in my coffee. But the chocolate core protein, the 30 gram ones, are fantastic, and they taste just like chocolate milk to me. So very frequently I have that in the evening, because I'm still I haven't gotten all of my protein in, and so I need something that's easy to take into my system, that's not going to make me super, super full, but give me the protein. The 42 gram ones are amazing. I actually tried those over the weekend when we were in Kansas City for my son's graduation. And my daughter, my oldest daughter, was drinking those in her coffee in the vanilla, and I really, really liked that. And that's 42 grams. You guys, if you're trying to hit around 80 grams of protein, you drink 2 of those and you're good. Like, anything else on top of that is gravy. So that is amazing. I would highly recommend those. They are very tasty and a little pricey, but probably worth it in order, like I said, to get your protein. So find some things that you can have on hand that are easy protein go-tos for you, because you really need to focus on hitting your protein goal every day. All right, let's talk about some supplements and things that I do think are critical. If you have read any information or done any research on this medication, probably the number one issue that people, or bad side effect that people have, is constipation. So you need to make sure that you are drinking all your water and getting in enough fiber. And most of us, again, because of the limited amount of food that we're eating, are probably not going to be able to get in enough high fiber food to hit your fiber goal. So I would highly recommend a fiber supplement. Originally, I started with either like Metamucil or Benefiber or something, and was putting it in like my greens that I drink in the morning. It was just too gritty. I didn't like it. So I switched over to these fiber gummies. I get them off of Amazon. We used to get these through Costco, and my kids used to eat. I used to give them to our twins, Nick and Hannah, every morning. They loved them, and they don't carry them at Costco anymore. So I did have to get this off of Amazon. Like I said, I will link them below. They're, fairly tasty. There are 5 grams of fiber. It's not going to meet your fiber goals for the day, but it will certainly at least help you meet your fiber goals. And like I said, fiber is critical when you're talking about your gastrointestinal health. The next item that I would recommend, again, to help you deal if you are experiencing constipation or just really want to prevent it, is to get magnesium. I personally use this one. This is called Mag07. If you are on any of the Facebook groups, you will see lots of people recommending this one. This has 7 different forms of magnesium. So there's magnesium citrate, there's magnesium caltrate, there's 5 other magnesiums that I don't even know the name of. But it will not only help with your potential, constipation, or really to just help keep your system flowing, but it also does aid in sleep. And a lot of people do have a side effect of, their sleep being impacted in a negative way when they're on a GLP medication. It is one of the potential side effects. So again, magnesium will assist in that, and this has the type of magnesium that you need to help for sleep. So I take 3 of these is what the recommended dosage is every night before I go to bed. And so it definitely, like I said, helps me stay regular, as well as help aid in a good night's sleep. So I would highly recommend a magnesium supplement. And the final item, which is something that hopefully all of us are already taking already, but if you're not, you need to be taking a daily vitamin supplement. Again, you are not going to be able to get all of your nutritional needs from the food that you are eating when you're in a calorie deficit. I don't think it's physically possible to do so unless you are like incredibly careful and really thinking out every single bite of food that you eat in order to hit, your daily vitamin requirements. As somebody who I know from my other channel who also at one point had been taking a GLP medication, recommended this vitamin to me. It is specific for a GLP-1 diet, so it does support some of the things that we will be deficient in, but it does specifically, it says energy, GI/nausea, and that's one of the reasons why she recommended it to me, because I was really, really nauseous for a while, and then your metabolism. But it has some other things obviously in it, other requirements, but you really need to make sure that you have a daily multivitamin supplement that you're taking. So you make sure that you're getting all of the vitamins and minerals that you need to supplement whatever food that you do end up eating. So that's it. Those are the 10 things that I think are must-haves when starting a GLP-1 weight loss medication journey. Let me know in the comments below. Are there others that you think are critical when starting? I would love to hear your feedback on that, so leave those in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It does help the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you here. So just click the subscribe button and make sure that you click the notification bell, because I don't have sort of a set upload schedule, at least at the moment. I have my other channels, so I have kind of a commitment to an upload schedule there, and I'm sort of trying to fit these in between. So if you have the notification bell checked or marked for all, then you'll get notified whenever I upload a video. So until I get on some kind of schedule, that's probably the best way to find my videos. If you haven't had enough of me yet, I will pop another video up here for you to watch. And the tagline for this channel is kindness and hate spread the same. The choice is yours. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.